Have you ever watched Dune and thought, could we really build something like that? The massive cities, the wind-carved palaces, the infrastructure etched into cliffs, designed not just to survive, but belong to the desert. Well, today we're diving deep, not just into sci-fi fantasy, but into real-world architecture, climate resilience, and future-forward design. Hi, I'm Maria. I'm architectural designer and founder of Bogat Architecture and Design. And if you love architecture, storytelling, and reimagining the built world, this channel's for you. Now let's explore. Could the cities of Dune actually become our reality? Frank Herbert's Dune isn't just a sci-fi masterpiece. It's a masterclass in architectural storytelling. Think about Arakin's massive walls, the fortress-like palaces carved into rock. They're not decorative, they're defensive. They aren't sterile, futuristic glass towers. They're deeply rooted in culture, climate, and survival. That's what makes them timeless. They borrow from ancient traditions, Persian and Mesopotamian citadels, Berber architecture in the Sahara, Navajo cliff dwellings in the American Southwest. So, for example, Arakin's buildings are thick, heat-resistant, and recessed to create natural shade. They follow passive solar principles, like absorbing warmth all night and deflecting heat throughout the day, and the layout designed to create narrow shaded paths, wind tunnels that cool the air instead of trapping it. This is vernacular architecture scaled up to match the drama of an entire planet. So could we build like this today? And the short answer is yes, in some ways we already are. Now, let's start with desert architecture. Take Masdar City in the United Arab Emirates, a real example to build a net zero city in the middle of the desert. It includes wind towers that funnel cooler air into streets, solar orientation of buildings to avoid overheating, shaded alleys, and plazas designed to encourage airflow almost identical to Arakin's urban fabric. Now, what about underground cities like those carved by the Freemen? In Coober Perry, Australia, entire homes are dug into hillsides and rock to avoid 40 degrees Celsius heat. These subterranean structures stay naturally cool without AC. Similar ideas are being explored in Mars colonization prototypes, where digging into regolith protects against radiation and temperature extremes. And the big takeaway? We already have the tools, but scaling them to mega urban civilization in the dunes of Arrakis, that's a different challenge. We're talking terraforming levels of system thinking. Let's talk materials, because plastil isn't exactly something you can order on Architizer, but Dune's architecture gives us clues. Massive walls, earthen structures, matte finishes that blend with landscape, not contrasted. So let's look at real-world equivalents. Number one is rent earth, natural, local, massive thermal mass used in Mali, Morocco, and now in high-end projects worldwide. Zero carbon footprint and source on-site. Number two is aerated concrete, which is lightweight but insulative, used in passive houses in Europe and Asia. Number three is phase change materials. These are smart materials that absorb heat during the day and release it slowly at night. A living wall that actually balances thermal gain. We are already getting there. Number four, nanotech surfaces. Hydrophobic coatings already exist that repel sand, dirt, and moisture, especially useful in arid zones. And here's a real-world example of sci-fi tech that's already real. Atmospheric water harvesting. Freeman steel suits pulled water from the air, and today companies like Source Global make solar-powered panels that extract drinkable water straight from the humidity of the air. Imagine embedding that directly into buildings, into the roof, the walls, a city that collects water instead of demanding it. That's not just sustainable, that's resilient design. Dune's architecture isn't just functional, it's symbolic. Freeman architecture reflects a deep respect for scarcity, especially water. Their dwellings embody simplicity, ritual, communal ownership, and architectural restraint. This is something we often miss in modern cities. We design for function or for status, but not always for values. So let me ask you, what if our cities were designed around core cultural principles? Could we embed ritual into public space? Could we design water plazas that both harvest rain and teach conservation? Could architecture promote moderation instead of excess? And here's a reference. A pattern language by Christopher Alexander suggests that all great environments are rooted in shared human stories, not just data. And that's what Dune reminds us. Form follows climate, but also culture. So why aren't we building cities like Dune now? Here are three major blockers. The first one is the economic systems. Modern construction still prioritizes speed and return of investment over resilience, and developers are rarely incentivized to build 100-year buildings or climate-integrated cities. Number two is cultural inertia. Most cities are built based on precedent, not necessity. We recreate what we know, even when it no longer serves us. And number three is political will. To build like Dune, we need bold regulation, funding, and cross-discipline collaboration. And unfortunately, that's still rare. But here's the twist. The climate crisis may force us to think like the Freemen. We may soon find ourselves building smarter, leaner, and more climatically adaptive cities, not out of innovation, but survival. And that's both a challenge and an opportunity. So, could we build a city like the one in Dune? Technically, yes. Culturally, we are learning. Realistically, we'll need to evolve our values, our systems, and our expectations. But that's what makes architecture powerful. It's not just the walls and windows. It's a mirror of what we believe and a prototype of what we could become. So if you found this thought-provoking, subscribe and join me each week as we explore how design meets science fiction and the real world. Until next time.